Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Oh Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Oh Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Oh Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Oh Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Oh Hare Rama 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 Hare Radhe Hare Krishna 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 Hare Oh Hare Rama 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 Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Radhe Radhe Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Gaura He Gaura He Gaura He Gaura He Gaura He Gaura Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Gurudeva 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 Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gauda Hari Bo Nitai Gauda Hari Bo Haribo, Haribo, Nitai Gaura Haribo. Go to Premanandi. Haribo.
Jai Ho!
Madhu, you were next.
Shritam Mahaprabhu ki jai! Gadagraja Prabhu ki jai! Yes, your kirtans give me so much ecstasies. That's why I'm so grateful to be here with you. It's so nice we have Gadagraja Prabhu always giving such nice harikatha, such nice kirtan. He's exemplary brahmachari, so anything you hear from him, you can always take from this. Will help your life so much. It's true.
I paid him before the class.
Yeah, he paid me to say that.
I wish there would be a CD I could take one.
Yes, you want one?
Yes.
Okay, well we can record something for you. Very nice. We actually have a studio, a music studio.
Really? Oh
Yeah, we have a music studio. We can record some kirtan, no problem.
Please make him record.
When are you leaving? Monday. What day is it today?
Tuesday.
So we have a week. Oh, we can definitely give you a whole CD of bhajans and kirtan. But he's leaving, what time are you leaving tomorrow? So they wanted to take home a CD, a recording of our kirtans and bhajans, but it will be incomplete without your mridanga playing. Can we make one? Well, maybe not a CD, but or some. Maybe we can make one recording tomorrow.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. You can do you can do the screen record. You can do the screen record on the live video. Screen record on the live video.
Alright, fine, we got him, but we'll go to the studio without you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Bhagavad Gita class? Or? We can do a little kirtan for you, yeah.
Yeah, it seems
Let's
like
do it.
The vibe is flowing.
I mean, it's no. That's the Dharma, the Yuga Dharma. Okay.
Hey, Karma.
Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah, we can do. Let's do. I'm gonna do another sweet short one, because I have to speak at some point. Else she'll be like. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna sorry Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Class coming. Hare Hare. Class coming. They were just enthusiastic chanters. Nitai Gauda Haribo, 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 Nitai Gauda Haribo, 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 Nitai Gauda Premanandi, Hari Haribo, Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Srila Gurudev Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thanks, Priji. I knew it was coming. Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tvedalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarabhaktaya Namo Namaha Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshaye Chiptascha Kamadita Rangamalye Kripa Mai Tvam Sharanam Prapanya De Namaste Charanarvindam Tavaivasmi Tavaivasmi Danjivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigaya Radhe Tvam Nayamam Charanantika. First of all, offering unlimited Dandava pranams, the dust of my lotus feet, dust of the lotus feet of my worshipful Diksha Guru Devi Srimati Shamrani Didi, and my Param Guru Devs, Nityalula Pravishtam Vishnupadasta Tatasat Shishimat Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, offering my Dandavat pranams at their lotus feet, and also Dandavat pranams to all assembled devotees. Priya, you're also staying?
What's that?
You're staying for class.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to come for class.
Wow. So we are continuing our study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We started not so long ago, so we're just getting the beginning of chapter 3. Yeah. Karma Yoga. So for those who are, you guys are pretty familiar with Bhagavad Gita?
We're actually we're going through it again. We're just starting chapter 3 at home as well.
Hey, perfect timing. Perfect
We're
timing.
on the last stanza of the second chapter.
Oh, nice.
That's
Yeah. Perfect timing. So yeah, actually our acharyas have said that the Bhagavad Gita can be kind of actually broken up into 3 parts by chapters of 6s, that the first 6 are equated to be mainly about activity, action, karma kanda, and then the middle 6 chapters being about predominantly bhakti yoga, and the last 6 being about jnana yoga, intelligence. And so this 3rd chapter is getting really into activity. And so the verse that we left off on is text 9, which is actually a really famous verse. Yagyartat karmano nyacha loko yam karma bandhanaha tarartam karma kuntaya mukta sangha samachara. Translation is, work done as sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise work binds one to this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction. In that way, you will always remain unattached and free from bondage. And so, kind of the glories of the process of Krishna consciousness are explained in this verse and in this purport. That in this Bhagavad Gita, it's explained that, and actually, I had in my mind getting a little bit into the creation, because that's what I was kind of diving in and thinking about today. Actually, how we end up here as souls in this material world, some of the actual logistics of actually the universe, the Vedic cosmology, because actually some might be unfamiliar with that. And it can also give us a good picture of why Krishna is saying what he's saying and why sacrifice is such a big deal. And so, does it sound like a okay plan? Or first, do you guys want to hear about Tilak? Or after? Okay, no problem. So it's explained that we have a text called the Brahma Samhita, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You guys familiar with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Good. Just getting temperature check. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is avatari. He's not different than Krishna himself. And he was in the material world 500 years ago. The material world, as I'm going to explain, is always appearing and disappearing, becoming manifest and then dissolving. Like this, it's continually, eternally actually going in a changing cycle. And Prabhupada said that Krishna descends into the material universe like waves are coming to the shore of the ocean. This morning we mentioned this verse about, actually Saturday is the appearance day of Krishna himself, Janmashtami. And then there's this famous verse, Anugrahaya Bhaktanam. And this verse explains that Krishna, he himself shows up into this material world, exhibits his pastimes to attract the jivas, to his charming personality and all such things. And so Krishna's manifesting the universe and also entering within it in so many various forms. And so Krishna is eternally existent in the spiritual realm. And the spiritual atmosphere is not dealing with time. It's eternally dancing, eternally going on full swing. No changing, just ever increasing love. And then in the corner of the spiritual realm, for the purpose of material creation, there's a cloud. You guys have heard this before? Vishnu. Okay, good.
That's always good.
Yeah. So Krishna expands as Balaram in Goloka, and Balaram expands and creates the abode of Krishna's Vrindavan. And that Balaram, he expands into what's called Shankarshan expansions, and eventually that Shankarshan is a Vishnu who lays down in this ocean, and he glances on an energy that's called Mahatattva, and he plants all the jivas who are dormant in him into that universe, and that universe becomes activated by his glance. And from every one of the pores of his body is coming so many universes, and then he enters into each one of those again, and from his belly button comes lotus flower, and on that lotus flower is born Lord Brahma, and Brahma becomes the creator of demigods. Many sages manifest from Brahma, and the arts manifest from Brahma. Pretty much the whole material world is created by Brahma as manifest from Krishna. So the whole world is actually coming down from Krishna's will and Krishna's sentient desire to manifest everything. So the material that we're experiencing is actually coming from the spiritual origin of Vishnu, of Krishna. And so that way everything's coming down. And so this is important meditation or understanding, because this third chapter deals a lot about yajna and demigods, actually. So one of the conceptions of the Vaishnava philosophy is that behind every thing is a person. It's not just objects and that's it, done and done there, That's like material consciousness. And so within this karma yoga, you have so many souls of this world who are performing activity based only on this understanding of there's only matter. And so this consciousness, it produces the effect of this consciousness is that actually the result of my actions, they don't really matter so much. I'm the center, and so if I make $1 million or $1 billion and people get hurt in the process, so what anyway? We're all going to die anyways. So this is called karma kanda. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was speaking to one of his disciples named Sanatan Goswami, he was touring the South India tour, same tour where he found the Brahma Samhita, getting people to chant Hare Krishna mantra. He met with one of his disciples, Sanatan Goswami, and he explained these different paths, like different directions. And he says, one direction you have the karma path, the materialistic path of how can I achieve more in this world? How can I set up more in this world? More enjoyment, more... How can I get stuff? How can I get stuff? It's like simple as that. And then there's another path that says this world is an illusion. This world is totally not real. And better we just wake up immediately. But the only problem with this is that it negates any of our activity in this world. And Krishna says, coming up, he says, we have to work. he says if you want to be inactive, then it's not going to work because you're automatically compelled by activity. So the soul has to act, it has to do something. And so that's actually part of the reason why Krishna is speaking this Bhagavad Gita, is because Arjuna is bewildered. He has to fight and participate in something he doesn't want to fight in. So he's actually kind of taking this path, this other direction. There's karma karna, and then there's renunciation, or enjoy or renounce. So he's saying, let me renounce this battle, go to the cave, I'm done. He says, no, it's not going to work like this. You're a warrior, so you're compelled to act. So Krishna in this Bhagavad Gita establishes and glorifies this, a third direction, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he describes as the eastern direction. And the sun rises in the east. So he says in the eastern direction, there's a path that's called devotion or bhakti. And he says, take this path. Take this path. And he says the other two paths are actually a byproduct of a ghost. He says, like a witch, the desire to enjoy is like separate than Krishna, is actually like self-suicide for the soul. It's planting it deeper into its suffering condition. So, yeah.
Does he refer to that as the two witches of the twin witches of the Room Bhakti?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. He says there's two ghosts. There's a witch, and it's like two ghosts. Enjoyment and liberation, mukti, renunciation. So anyhow, this verse is suggesting an aspect of devotion. And so, actually we can read Prabhupada's purport if we wish. That'd be nice. Since one has to work even for the simple... Oh, this is chapter 3, text 9, if anyone's still looking. Since one has to work even for the simple maintenance of the body, the prescribed duties for a particular social position and quality are so made that purpose can be fulfilled. Yajna means Lord Vishnu, or sacrificial performances. All sacrificial performances also are meant for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. The Vedas enjoin Yajna vai Vishnu. In other words, the same purpose is served whether one performs prescribed yajnas or directly serves Lord Vishnu. Krishna consciousness is therefore performance of yajna as it is prescribed in this verse. The Varnashram institution also aims at this for satisfying Lord Vishnu. And then he quotes this verse from Vishnu Purana that the purpose of the Varnashram system is to satisfy Krishna. Therefore, one has to work for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Any other work done in this material world will be a cause of bondage, for both good and evil work have their reactions, and any reaction binds the performer. Therefore, one has to work in Krishna consciousness to satisfy Krishna or Vishnu. And while performing such activities, one is in a liberated stage. This is the great art of doing work. And in the beginning, this process requires very expert guidance. That's very significant, because then we can say, what the heck does it actually mean to dedicate my actions? So he says, in the beginning, this process requires guidance. One should therefore act very diligently under the expert guidance of a devotee of Lord Krishna, or under the direct instruction of Lord Krishna himself, under whom Arjuna had the opportunity to work, like Sanatan Goswami was receiving from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nothing should be performed for sense gratification, but everything should be done for the satisfaction of Krishna. This practice will not only save one from the reaction of work, but will also gradually elevate one to the transcendental loving service of the Lord, which alone can raise one to the kingdom of God. So this is interesting how he says this practice will not only save one from the reaction of work, but will also gradually elevate one to the transcendental loving service of the Lord, which alone can raise one to the kingdom of God. So there's a famous verse that describes sadhana bhakti. Does everyone know what sadhana bhakti is? Sadhana bhakti. Practice of bhakti. Yeah, very good, very good. Does anyone know the verse that describes sadhana bhakti? I know you probably know.
You know it.
Yeah.
New Testament.
So there's this verse that's really interesting to reflect on. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya. Wait, Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya. Bhava sas sadhana bida nitya sadhasa bhavasya. It's describing that sadhana is the practice of engaging our senses in devotional service to Krishna. In such practice awakens actually the nature of the soul. And so the pure devotional service or full love of Krishna is dormant in our soul. And so by this process of engaging our senses now, then gradually, as Prabhupada's saving, not only will this practice save one from the reaction of work, but will also gradually elevate one to transcendental loving service of the Lord, which is the nature of the soul. And then also what this verse is describing, another aspect is very, very deep. And it says that our sadhana bhakti, our practice of bhakti, should be aimed at achieving something called bhava. Bhava means a platform of loving service to Krishna. And that takes actually form, and a type of relationship with Krishna is planted in our soul like a seed, like a tree. A tree, you plant an apple seed, and that tree becomes a fully blossomed, like your shirt, fully blossomed apple tree, or an orange seed becomes an orange tree. So similarly, Krishna has planted within our soul a very specific and unique type of loving relationship with him. And so that full potential is blossomed by our engagement in sadhana bhakti under the guidance of a very expert guide. So this verse can seem like a very simple Bhagavad Gita verse here, but Prabhupada showing actually the depth of the depths of this statement. And so the whole thing is coming down actually to seva, the idea and concept of doing seva, performing activity for Krishna. And our acharyas also describe this as called yukta vairagya, not just renunciation for no sake, but hey, I have all these things, I have an inclination, I have a nature, then how can I make this connection? How can I connect this with Krishna, with my practice, with what I'm doing? And then you'll find in the next verse, Prabhupada gives a very, very simple suggestion for us. The verse is, in the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, "Be thou happy by this yajna, sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you all desirable things." So because they had the consciousness that actually there's a person behind everything, then they would do sacrifices and they would receive whatever they wanted. Not whatever they wanted, but fruitful crops, anything. But this purport is very significant. I don't want to read the whole thing to spend too much time, but I'll start with the Prajapati is Lord Vishnu, and he is the Lord of all living creatures, all worlds, and all beauties, and the protector of everyone. The Lord created this material world for the conditioned souls to learn how to perform yajnas, sacrifice for the satisfaction of Vishnu, so that while in the material world they can live very comfortably without anxiety. Then after finishing the present material body, they can enter into the kingdom of God. That is the whole program for the conditioned soul. There you go. So that's the purpose of the material manifestation, is to give the jivas an opportunity to learn how to engage their senses in serving Krishna. And By performance of yajna, the conditioned souls gradually become Krishna conscious and become godly in all respects. This is the point. In this age of Kali, the Sankirtan Yajna, the chanting of the names of God, is recommended by the Vedic scriptures, and this transcendental system was introduced by Lord Chaitanya for the deliverance of all men in this age. Sankirtan Yajna and Krishna consciousness go well together. Lord Krishna is in his devotional form as Lord Chaitanya, as mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, as follows. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangashra Parshadam Yajna Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Hu Somedasaha. In this age of Kali, people are endowed with sufficient intelligence, will worship the Lord, who is accompanied by his associates by performance of Sankirtan Yajna. Other yajnas prescribed in the Vedic literatures are not so easy to perform in this age of Kali, but the Sankirtan Yajna is easy and sublime for all purposes. So Prabhupada leads again and again to the simplicity actually of just performing kirtan, because the logistics of how do I make this for Krishna? The mind can get complex. Am I doing this for Krishna? Am I not doing this for Krishna? So Prabhupada gives the simple answer of perform kirtan. And I just read this verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Prabhupada was explaining. Actually, it was Prabhupada's commentary on that sudden Kriti Sajja Bhavad Sajja. It was amazing to hear what Prabhupada had to say about it. And Prabhupada talked immediately about chanting the holy name. He said, if you chant the holy name, then the first effect that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he spoke these verses called the Shikshastakam, 8 instructions that he gave. And the first one gives 7 increments of the effect of chanting the holy name. And the first one's called Chaito Darpana Marjanam, that the consciousness of the mirror starts to become cleansed and clear. And then so much comes from that. And Prabhupada says that by the chanting of the name, the mind starts to become purified, and then automatically the senses start to engage in loving service to Krishna as like a byproduct of the purification of the effect of the holy name. Then, which is so interesting, because that's the soul, that's the nature of the soul. So if the nature of the soul is awakening, then the senses are following behind it, So anyways, I thought that was very profound, amazing explanation from Prabhupada, that actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us this holy name, and everything's there. And by our application to it, then automatically the process will fall in line. And yeah, very, very wonderful. And so anyways, does anyone have any contributions, or do you two have questions? Yeah, Prabhu.
Thank you. That was very sweet. Appreciate that. So, it's there's a distinguishment between karma
Actually, can you
yoga and jnana yoga. So, this chapter, this verse is talking about yagyarta kamano yatra, like dedicating one's the fruit of one's actions to Vishnu, and any actions that are not dedicated to Vishnu will basically cause one to be bound to this material world. So basically, because this chapter is talking about karma yoga, there's 2 things to consider in this verse. One is that by performing one's activities, so everyone has their prescribed occupational duties, everyone has their duties in this world, their worldly obligations, but simply by performing these activities but not being attached to the fruits, then this relieves one from bondage. Because the idea behind it is that generally 99% of the time and 99% of the world, everyone's just acting out of their own self-interest. So it's like, no one really wants to go to a job without getting paid, because then what's the point? Everyone has their own motive to fulfill. So basically, the reward-seeking nature of the conditioned soul is very ingrained. And as long as we're acting on this tendency to just want to act so that we can enjoy the fruits, then we're bound to this material world. So this is what's called pure karma. Karma is just reward-seeking activity for one's own enjoyment. But higher than this is what's discussed in this verse, is karma yoga. When one performs those same activities, performs the same worldly obligations, prescribed duties, but has no attachment to the fruit. And so in my Gurudev's Gita, he talks about there's two considerations of being established in one's swadharma, one's, I guess you can say, acquired nature. One is just performing activities without desiring the fruits. This alone will not cause bondage. The other is performing the activities and offering the fruits to Vishnu. And so both things have to be there in order for this to be considered karma yoga. Because karma yoga, karma doesn't link us with the Supreme, and karma yoga links us with the Supreme. And this way it's higher than karma. So basically, and the thing about karma yoga in comparison to bhakti, because in bhakti also we offer the fruits of our activities to Krishna. If you're a grihastha, you try to offer some pranami to Thakurji Vaishnav. You try to perform some seva. You do things maybe out of a sense of duty, not necessarily wanting the fruit for yourself, but you're offering it to Hariguru Vaishnavas. So in bhakti, we also offer the fruits, but the difference between bhakti and karma is that when one is performing karma yoga, there's still the conception of I as the doer. So if you look at karma yoga, you're offering the fruits, but what about offering yourself? What you're thinking, I am the doer, I'm doing this, I am working for this, and then I'm giving to Vishnu. So this is why there's a distinguishment between this sort of karma yoga and bhakti. Whereas in bhakti, iti pumsarpita Vishnu bhakti shenavalakshana. One performs these limbs of bhakti, but after offering oneself. So the conception of I'm the doer, I'm the agent isn't there in bhakti. And so this is, one thing to consider. It's, sometimes it looks like, devotees are just doing the same thing everyone else is doing in this world. We may eat the same, sleep the same, yeah, but the internal consciousness that I'm doing this for Hariguru and Vaishnav, I'm not this body, I'm a servant, has to be there in order for it to be considered bhakti. And also, our Gurudev used to say, even passing stool can be bhakti. So a very, very strong statement. How is passing stool considered bhakti? He said, because I'm thinking that in order to serve my guru, I have to maintain my body. So this is the difference a lot of times in bhakti. It's a matter of consciousness, one's chitta. So I just wanted to add that.
Either of you guys have any contributions or thoughts? Reflections? No? It's a good segue actually, because they asked about putting on tilak and how we put on tilak. And I can show you after the logistics of literally how we do it. But when we apply the tilak, we put it on 12 spots of our body, and we say a mantra on each one. And that mantra begins always with Om, a name of Krishna, and then Namaha. So this Namaha is actually very significant and connected to what Prabhu's saying. Namaha means I offer myself, Namaha, attempting to relinquish this idea that I am the doer and that I'm servant. So like this, when we're offering, putting on tilak, it's actually this very deep meditation, and also meditation on the different names of the Lord that we're saying. The pastimes connected to that. And so yeah, that's the gist of what I had to say. Thank you so much for making that distinction, Prabhu. Yeah, it's important, very important. And there's like layers of bhakti, you know, the karma mishra, the jnana mishra, and so it gets very amazing. And I also heard Gurudev say something like that one time in his class. He said, like, if you're cold at night and you put a blanket on, like, is it bhakti? You know, it's a really interesting question, actually. So, and he gave the same exact answer. He said, well, is your life dedicated to the service of Sri Guru? Then easy to tell. So, anyways, without any form or nothing else. Okay, go to Premanande. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo, Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Go, Premanande. Yep.
Also, later on in the chapter, our acharyas make the point that this type of activity of offering one's actions to God, or not being attached to the fruit of one's labor, although it's not bhakti, although it's karma yoga, it gradually purifies the heart. It purifies the heart, and then by good fortune, if one's fortunate, then one comes in contact with the sadhu, and then by the influence of that sadhu, then one can begin bhakti. So it's very, Prabhupada quoted that verse a lot because, Prabhupada had a very broad-minded ideal for society. It's just like if politicians or the people in general just learned how to dedicate, the fruits of their labor, or offer it to Vishnu to sacrifice, because yajna is sacrifice. It's like, it is a sacrifice to give up what you work for. Then, this purifies the heart. So, oftentimes it's kind of like a starting point for many people. It's like because ultimately all these paths, they eventually lead to bhakti. So it's just a step in the ladder.
One point made too about how, like what Prabhu was saying, that they're all a step in the ladder, and the ladder actually keeps going beyond the material realm too. Because there's also degrees of dedication, even in the spiritual, the different planets and stuff. And then that seva actually takes, that selfless service actually takes the form of different types of relationship. So then that goes all the way up. And then the absolute most dedicated, Srimati Radharani, Krishna's own Hridini Shakti and counterpart. So it's interesting to see that. That's why I was saying seva is the most significant, like, access point, So yeah, it's a nice point that the karma is like, yeah, of course we're going to perform. We have to do something. We have to work with what we got, Yeah. Haribol.